All right, fastest 15 minutes on the internet, fastest 15 minutes in social media, and my name is Judson Powell. All right, here we go. Ancestors, and I keep telling everybody, we need to listen to the elders and the ancestors because the newer generation, they don't think that it's important, but spiritually, it's important. And the reason why spiritually it's absolutely important is because that's our power. Okay. So if you know anything about spirituality, well, the fact of the matter is people make ancestor altars, right? And they also make vision posters or vision boards or whatever you want to call them. And the reason why we do that is because it gives us spiritual power. All right. And the same thing is true for other folks. Why do you think why do you think they have like statues and monuments and pictures? Like you go in someplace and there's a picture of some old dude or there's all this kind of stuff. Well, those are basically ancestor altars or giving homage to the ancestors. And that's what we need to continue to do. But when you ignore your ancestors, then what you can't do, you cannot access the Akashic records. That's how you access it. That's how you get knowledge and information and wisdom. Yeah. So, in fact, I even get visitations from my ancestors. I'm that blessed that I've actually talked to my grandfather that's like been dead for like according to our thing. But here's how we do it. Okay, so you set up the altar and you put things on the altar that they liked, or their vices and everything. Just like I'd always use I use the example of Papa Legba. Papa Legba, he liked smoking and all his vices. So if you were setting up an altar to him, you would put all his vices on there, the stuff that he liked. And the same thing is true for your relatives. Like like my mom and my dad are both in the universe. They're traveling. So when I make altars to them, what do? I put the stuff that they like, and then and then basically I meditate and I think about them. And then somewhere in my subconscious or even in my conscious, I don't even know where it is, but usually they come to me in my dreams, and then they'll tell me what I need to know. Just like the time that I did, and it's only been once, I talked to my grandfather, but it was because I needed some advice, and I knew that he was the one that could give me the advice. And so the advice came from where? The records, the Akashic records. There's a universal, basically everything that happens on the earth, it goes into the universal realm, and that's where people get knowledge. So so example, like Lewis Latimer, how is it that he was able to come up with the filament to the light bulb when Edison couldn't do it? Even though Edison got credit and stuff like that, but he's not the one that really discovered the light bulb. It was Lewis Latimer. All right, and somehow, some way, some shape, some form, he was able to access those records, right? And it's all done spiritually. So when the ancestors are telling us stuff, or when the elders told us stuff, then we should do it. Why? Because they know. See, what you think you know, they already know. What is the adage? Even y'all Christians, what do y'all say? There's nothing new under the sun. There's nothing new under Ra. Everything that you need or everything that's going to happen or whatever, it's already happened. It literally has already happened. And all you have to do is access the information. And once you access the information, you're good. And I'm telling you, a lot of times, look, I've even done it. I've even done it with simple stuff, like how you lose something, and I'll just be like, show me where it is. And lo and behold, a lot of times it works. Not that I lose a lot of stuff, but I'm just saying, but I've done it like that. So when it comes down to everything, and people are like, once again I bring up that the whole thing with Jesse Jackson about the numbers and how we were able to find out like what numbers are what, because what numbers are it shows us that we are the majority of the people of the earth, but what other people would have us to believe that we're minorities, because they have their own parallel universe, right? So they're saying one thing, we're saying another. And so what is truth? Truth is being able to count the actual people, mathematics, right? Science. Everybody, they're like, oh, but so I can lie about science, but the truth is the truth. Like if I what is it? If I heat something over 212 degrees, it boils always. If I drop something, it's going to fall to the ground on Earth because of what? Gravity. The sun rises in the east and sets in the west every single day. There are certain things that you cannot deny. They're truth. They're truths. And if they don't, and some things, if they don't occur, then what'll happen? Just like, and the universe has a specific order. And the order is that in our order for hierarchy and everything like that is what? The ancestors, elders, and then us, because we're in the infancy period. And in fact, me and my middle son, we were talking about that, and we were talking about how, well, what do you think the whole deal is? And I was and I was just saying, well, he was saying that, it's hard to believe that you would live like 70, 80, 90, 100 years, and then all of the knowledge and wisdom that you gain, that it just goes away. It doesn't. And that's the point of this whole thing. The fact of the matter is that the knowledge and everything that you gained, you can pass on, either when you're in the physical plane or when you're in the spiritual plane, if people try to contact you. And see, everybody wants to, and it's not spooky or nothing like that. It's just saying, hey, that people can talk to you from beyond, from beyond leaving this body, because you're just a spirit. You're not dying, which is also why which also explains why the Kemetic people had a obsession with the afterlife, right? I mean, really, they had an obsession with the afterlife. They didn't just, talk about the afterlife or whatever. They literally, because look at the burial chambers. Like, go and just go online and look at some of the burial chambers of some of the pharaohs and some of the other people there. I mean, they were magnificent. I mean, they were beautiful. I mean, just you look at it, you're like, wow. And they would be buried with all their stuff so that they would have their stuff in the afterlife. Even though they, and not to say that they knew 100% where they were going or anything like that, but they just knew that they didn't die. They died a physical death, but they never died a spiritual death, which of course Roman Catholics called the second death or whatever. That, so their whole thing was to scare you into believing that if you died and you didn't know this Jesus dude, that somehow, you would experience, death twice or whatever. And so you would never go into the universe. But of course, we know from science that that's not true. Science says what? That energy can't be destroyed. It can only be transformed. All right. You can't destroy energy. You can only transform it. And then when it's transformed, it still has what? Life. So that's why we had the like you look at that burial mask of King Tut. I mean, it's exquisite. I mean, it's like some of the most beautiful artwork on the face of the earth. I mean, it really is. But he wasn't really prepared not to be around. He was prepared to be around, which is the difference. It's a big difference. So listen to the elders and to the ancestors, because they know stuff. They know stuff, but if you don't ask them or if you don't access them, guess what? Well, that goes back to another stolen Bible principle: ask, seek, and knock. Right? If you don't ask, seek, and knock, what are you going to get? Nothing. Closed mouth don't get fed. That's the old Southern joke. If you hungry, say you hungry. Don't be all shy and everything like that. I'm hungry, or whatever. Or I need this. This is what I need. This is what I want. Blah, 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 blah. But a lot of times we don't put those messages out there. And like I tell my son all the time, don't sit there and suffer in silence. Talk to people. Ask people. Find out the knowledge that you need, because it's there. There's nothing new under the sun. The knowledge is there. So just like in the times of that, talking about, so if your ancestors told you to vote, and if your elders are telling you to vote, then vote. Why are you Like, why are you thinking about it? It's like that's one thing that you don't have to think about. And the other thing about that whole thing is it don't take that much time. You can have them ship the ballot to your house and you can do it at the crib. You don't even have to leave. Right? You don't have to leave the house. Literally, in our modern society, and even if you do go and you stand in line or whatever, how long, these people got dogs turned on them, fire hoses, beatings, crosses burned on their lawn, shot, stabbed, cussed out, lied to, all that. Paper bag tests, grandfather clauses, all kinds of stuff they had to go through. Voter ID laws. I mean, shoot, we done been through that. You see what I'm saying? And it only takes a second to honor them. And then what? Because without no spiritual power, you don't have no power. That's what I found out. If you don't have spiritual power, you don't have power. That's why we constantly trying to teach y'all and preach to y'all spirituality. Cause that Roman Catholic stuff, that Christian stuff, that ain't never been your religion. And now with the new findings that the white man done found, y'all gotta understand, they stole everything from you. So take it back. That's what I keep trying to say. The political system, the economic systems, all those systems were developed by the master builders in Kemet and in Kush. They're Nubian. This stuff is Nubian. It ain't got nothing to do with no white man. So when y'all give credit to the white man, y'all disrespect the ancestors. So you mean to tell me that these dudes sat up there and came up with all these different forms of government, and then Plato and Socrates and all they little, so-called philosophers put their name on the stuff, and all of a sudden it's supposed to be factual? Come on, son. Come on. I mean, I'm serious. Go back and study. That's why I keep telling people, go study and figure out do you think all those books at Timbuktu and the books they burned at Alexandria and all that kind of stuff, do y'all really believe that there was nothing in those books? They took the books, perverted them, and then plagiarized them, copied them, turned them around to make it say what they wanted it to say. But they didn't come up with the stuff. They just took what your ancestors did. So that's why you have to honor the ancestors. And the same thing, like vision charts and vision posters and all that kind of stuff that you put on the wall. I used to do that all the time. In fact, go back and look at some of my old videos, and where I'm sitting in my office, and on the back and on all the walls in my office, all it was what? Was visions. And I would put them on the wall. Why? And one of the other things, Amenemop, the man that really wrote the Proverbs and the books of wisdom, what did he say? Write the vision, make it plain. Right? If you don't write the stuff down and make the vision plain, how you going to use it? How you going to get other people to see your vision? Put it on the wall. Even your affirmations. If you got something that you're trying to change, get you some sticky notes. We got sticky notes. They had to carve the stuff in stone. They had to carve it into a rock. You got sticky notes and a pen. Okay? All you got to do is write the stuff down. I will make it A in English, Simple. Or I need $50 million. Whatever it is, just write it down, because the universe has it all. Don't think that it ain't out there. It really is out there. It's seriously, everything that you want, need, desire, whatever is out there, but you gotta understand spiritual power and how to get it. Talk to your ancestors. Y'all think that when people, black people are famous for that. Oh my God, they gone. They not gone. They still around. You just got to talk to them. And they'll the information and the stuff that you need, want, and desire, they will get it to you. And if and find out who the folks were in whatever discipline that you're in, find out who those folks were. And then talk to them. Make an altar to them. You know, what is the Mayat? The principle of Mayat: I will not harm any altars. I have not profaned any altars. I respect all my elders. All right. Anyway, fast 15 minutes is up. I don't know. When I do these kind of words, I'm like, I don't know. They probably don't understand. But anyway, I hope y'all got it. Hit all the buttons, like buttons, all of that. But most of all, what? Hit the love button. Universal.